learned this trick, it was called the ultimate transposition. It's a really cool transposition, in fact, that can be done in a spectator's hand, which is really cool. I've also heard it called this, or here and there, so it's just a different name for it, but this is what it looks like. You take the deck and have someone select a card. It doesn't matter what card they select, so let's say, for instance, actually, let's go with something else. I don't like that jack of clubs, that one. 10 of spades will work. So we have a card selected, okay, and then, let's see, it's about middle, and we place it back in to the pack, and then we snap, and that's the first move. It jumps right back to the top of the deck. Now normally what I do is I have the spectator hold out their hand, I take their 10 of spades and I place it into their hand. Then we'd use the next card here, in this case the king of diamonds. Okay, I would take that card and I would wave it over with a flick, and it becomes a 10 of spades. And what's really cool is not only now my hold is the 10 of spades, but in their hand is now the king of diamonds. Alright guys, so here's what you need to do the ultimate transposition. It's a duplicate. In this case I have 2 king of diamonds. I like to get a high face card, usually a face card for this, and usually a red face card. So I have 2 of them, one that was from another deck and that I was about to throw out, and the other one's from this deck. So they just go right on top of the deck and you're ready to begin. Now, you can do this a couple different ways. Okay, the way I did it, I used a tilt and I made it like, sort of made it like a ambitious card routine. So, but you can do it using any method, and I'm actually going to give you guys 2 methods. I'm going to give you the tilt and one other method of doing this as well. Okay, so you have them select a card, and it doesn't matter which card it is. Just for performance, since I'm using 2 red cards, I wanted it to really contrast and be a lower black card. Okay, so that's why I switched it from the jack of clubs and went to the 10 of spades, but it could be any card, doesn't matter. So in this case the 2 of clubs will work perfectly. Now in performance I did Ed Marlowe's tilt move, which is you have a big gap in the back of the deck like this, okay, and when you push from the back, you push some cards out, and it looks like that's about center. But then when you put the card in, you're actually just putting the card in right underneath that card on top of the deck, like this. Okay, so if you can see that. So that's where the card goes in. Now from here, it creates a great illusion that the card's going down into the deck. Okay, so you square it up. Now all you have to do is snap your fingers, do a double lift, and now their cards jump to the top. Okay, in reality, it's the second card from the top. So you turn that over, place it in their hand, which they think is a 2, and in fact it's the king. And what I'll do is I'll even miscall it. I'll say, go ahead and take your other hand and place it on top of the 2 of clubs. Or, yeah, the 2 of clubs was what it was. I'll say, go ahead and take your other hand and place it on top of the 2, hold it down there really tight so I don't get my sticky fingers in there. That's a good way to get them, to keep them from opening their hands, okay? Say, hold it really tight so I can't get my sticky fingers in there. And while they're doing that, it's ample misdirection to just thumb count and get a break onto the second card from the top. So now you do a double, and you show your duplicate king of diamonds, okay? Turn the double back over, and now it's done. I mean, you have the 2 of clubs, they have the king of diamonds. You can just wave it over their hand. I like to flick it, or you can even go underneath their hand and back out. Whatever you want to do to create this kind of moment of, depending on what your character is, do you want it to be like it's magical, just boom, it changed? Or is it somehow, you have a skill, somehow I got my hand in there and switched them without you noticing it. So it's up to you and how your character works to present this. But usually what I'll do is go either under the hand or I'll go above and I'll just flick and I'll ask them, did you feel that? And they say no or yes, it doesn't matter what they say. And then I'll slowly turn the card over and show them that I'm holding the 2, and then I just point to their hand. I don't tell them to look in their hands, I just point to their hands and let them do it, and they turn over the card and see it. This is a little bit of a subtlety here, but when you let them turn it over themselves, they feel like they could have, you know, if it had to have really been a switch there somehow. Because if you told them to turn it over, you'd be like, okay, well, he set that up somehow. It just seems so much more amazing with them, with this, if you just let them turn it over. And if they don't, if you say, if you just show it and they don't turn it over, I always just point to their hands And when you point to their hand, they get the idea of, oh, okay, open my hand and look at it. And it's just a lot better when they open their hands and look at it without you telling them to do it. Okay? So it's real simple to do. I'm also going to teach you a second way that you can get the card in a second from the top. Okay? So what we're going to do this time is use a leg turnover. Now, a leg turnover, you're just basically, while they're looking at the card and they're showing it to everybody else, you're going to take the top card and pretending that the table is your leg, imagine the table is your leg, you push the card against it, and then you just bring your fingers in. It's kind of hard to do it on the table, but bring your fingers underneath and flip it around. And using your leg to do that as your hand's down at your side, no one's going to catch that. And now it's turned over and you have a hold a break. Keep the hand wrist killed so you don't see it. Bring the card back, do this little retention of vision move here. Okay. And now their card is second from the top. And you don't have to do an ambitious card or anything. You just do this and just say, here, hold your card with your hand on top and you're ready to go. Okay. Another way is to do a double leg turnover, so turn over 2 cards instead of 1 this time. Again, it works the same way. You just come against your leg, push 2 off, whoops, not 3, 2, and then flip them and get your break. And you do that while they're looking at that card, they're not going to catch it. Now this time you can make it a little bit more magical. If you want it to be like a magical change, so where they switch magically, then you'll do this move, where now it's a triple lift, so you turn over 3, give them the king. Now the top card is a king. And now you can just do a twirl change, or I like to do shapeshifter, so just do, whoops, and throw cards everywhere. That is how you do not do the shapeshifter change. In performance, that is how you do not want to do it. I did that just to show you how not to do the shapeshifter change. What you're going to do, again, just like this, just do shapeshifter, and there it is. And now it changed. I have the 2, and then I just let it drop, and I thumb it off so it doesn't look like it was squared with the pack. Give them a second to turn over the card in their hands, see that it's also the king, and you're done. If you want to let them examine the deck, you can palm. If they ask to examine it, I should say, because that's my motto, don't let them examine it unless they ask. I palm the card off, hand it to them, or you can just drop the whole deck in your pocket. Then if they do ask to examine it, you just take everything out except for that extra king, and you're good to go. So, real simple to do again. Just three different ways to get into it and do it. And it can look a little bit different just depending on whether you want to do it with a double lift, or if you want to do the change visually by doing a snap change or a twirl change, or even like we did there, the shapeshifter change. Okay. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you like what you saw, check out one of my 2 previous videos by clicking on one of the videos you see here. You can also click on the big subscribe button at the bottom, which will take you to my page where you can subscribe, and you'll be able to see the latest videos. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.